beyond the sky, reflecting me at the silent core. And yet before a phenomena begin, oh, and after it, I am. Many differences separate us on the surface, yes, but I cannot find a boundary in consciousness. And when you ask me, where does awareness begin and does it end? I have to say, I've always been within the body, without the body. And when you ask me, where does awareness begins and does it end? I have to say, I've always been at the silent core. And yet before a phenomena begin, oh, and after it, I am.
Blessings.
Miss Toya is going to be one of part of the concert that I'll be talking about later. I'm so pleased that you are all here, and it is a welcome and a good morning and a well done. It looks like you got the memo. You remembered to get up an hour early, and it is indeed our gorgeous daylight savings time, which allows us to have that light in the end of the day, in the evening, which I love. And if you didn't get the memo and you're coming in later, you're just as welcome. And so this weekend was significant for another reason. And I hope that I'm not the only one that acknowledged that. It is the International Women's Day on March 8th. It has been for over 30 or 40 years now. It was being honored this weekend. It is a day of global recognition, celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of all women. And at the same time, seeking greater equity. This honors a long history from the turn of the century, labor movement, suffrage movements that occurred here and in Europe and in other areas of the globe. And so for that one reason, I come to Unity. For International Women's Day aligns with principles of Unity of Gainesville. There are no boundaries in consciousness or otherwise. And indeed, there is nothing that can divide us. Whether it's our national or ethnic or economic or political beliefs. None of those are as significant as knowing that we are uniquely expressing our divinity. One power, one presence, one life. God's life. I'm Rupali Robinson, and I'm delighted to be here. Please, as a courtesy, turn off your phones. And I had asked if our beloved Merlin would pass out the welcome packets if there are any newcomers today. If you would just raise your hand. There's 3 on that side, 4, and indeed you are welcome. Come and enjoy us. Take what you wish, leave what you wish, and just know that whatever you bring, whatever gift of light or love you choose to offer is always welcome here. We have always a beginning where we start with the vision, mission, and core values. And in this case, we can see them over here on the banners, and we've put them here for you to speak with me. Our mission is through prayer, meditation, spiritual education, and service, we put God's love into action. Our mission is through prayer, speak it with me, through prayer, meditation,
Spiritual education.
and service, we put God's love into action. Vision and divine love and wisdom, we joyfully create a world united in positive spirituality. And then with our core values, we will be saying them with the phrase, we are. We are spirit-led, we are love, we are generosity, we are gratitude, we are inclusivity. And so, as you know, we are in the new year of 2025 with Reverend Ryan at the helm, and he has chosen our theme of the year to be based on the energy system that is within us called the chakra system. A chakra is simply a whirlpool of energy that is in the subtle body that either draws in energy or radiates it out. And it affects our entire being. This month we are working with the second chakra, the Svadhisthana in Hindu, and it means my abode. For this second chakra that is located 3 fingers below the belly button aligns with every part of our nature. Physically, it aligns to pleasure. Emotionally, it aligns to intimacy. Spiritually, mentally, it aligns to creativity. And so for the next few weeks, we will be using creativity as our theme. The anchoring thought is Albert Einstein. Very simple. Creativity is intelligence having fun. And I now will invite Reverend Ryan.
Hey y'all, what's up, what's up? What's up, what's up? So if you're here for the first time, I'm DJ. No, I'm just playing. DJ Reverend Rev. Nah, what's up, y'all? I'm not sure how you arrived, our newcomers, but you are so welcome. You are so welcome. So we believe that there is a divine energy that's flowing through all of us. And Deepak Chopra says that a coincidence is really a divine act. And so however you arrived here this morning, we acknowledge that there is a divine act that pulled you to this community in this moment right now. So you are seen. And so in this moment, we do what's called an evocation. Can we say together, evocation? An evocation is where we just acknowledge the truth of what is. And so I invite you to take a cleansing breath when I hit the gong, okay? All right, so we hit the gong for the first time, acknowledging that there is only love. And that love has many names. We might say God, divine love, oneness, spirit. And so we hit the gong for the first time, acknowledging that that is all there is. We hit the gong a second time, acknowledging that, yes, there is only love. And guess what? We are the articulation, the expression, the music of that love. We are that. And so we hit the gong for that reminder. We hit the gong a third and final time as a reminder that, yes, there is only God, whatever name we want to use. And yes, we are the articulation of that oneness. And we have bills, we have taxes, we have daylight saving times when you woke up a little more tired. We have all the things that come along with this articulation. And so we hit the gong a third and final time as a reminder to bring the clarity of who we truly are into all we do. We're going to take a moment and hear those birds singing and frolicking. Even in the rain, they dance. Dare I say, especially in the rain, they dance. So here at Unity, we love to celebrate. So if you haven't found out already, we like hugging, okay? We like snacks. We got cookies out there right now. And more importantly, we love just celebrating one another. And so I want to just check in with the crew. Do we have any birthdays that we celebrated last week? Any birthdays? We have a birthday? Whose birthday was it? Was it your last week? Oh, the week before. It's all right. We still celebrate you. That's all right. All right. Okay. Do we have any anniversaries in the house? What? Oh, my goodness. How many years?
20 years.
20 years. Okay. Congratulations, y'all. 20 years deserves an applause, okay? I heard if you make it past the 7-year hump, you're doing all right. Congratulations, y'all. Do we have any milestones that we celebrated this week, right? Granted, milestones are anything. Okay. And last but not least, just wave your hand if we have anybody in our community that's moving through a healing journey. And so healing looks a lot of different ways, right? It looks a lot of different ways. So sometimes it's our body temple. And then other times it's when we're moving through grief. And as many of us know, there is no finish line to that process. It's a continuation. And so here at Unity, we acknowledge that we have the juice. Can we say juice? We got the juice, y'all. Right? When we pray, we're not praying, God, come on down. I need some of that. We're saying, oh, no, God is already here. And guess what? We possess all that healing power already. And we just affirm the truth of who we are, which is whole. And so if we can rub our hands together just to acknowledge that, yes, this is our energy already flowing. And I want you to extend your hands to those around you. We had a lot of hands that popped up, and we have some celebrations happening. And so I want you to repeat after me. We see you. We know you for who you truly are.
Know you for who you truly are.
God in expression.
God in expression.
We celebrate you.
We celebrate you.
We walk with you. And we wrap our arms around you on your sacred walk. And so it is.
So it is.
So that moment is our oneness, right? And so we're lighting the candle now to acknowledge that all of us are together. And this one flame embodies a celebration of 20 years and also the healing of our physical bodies. And we're going to light this orange candle for our sacral chakra, which we'll be talking more about today. All right.
Awesome. Flow.
Hello, hello. Yay.
Test.
Oh.
All right. Are we doing good today, y'all? What's up?
I don't know. Hence the orange candle for the second chakra and the orange dress skirt and combo I'm wearing today, because I decided that if I'm going to do it up front, I can at least wear orange on this Sunday. It's not my first color in my wardrobe. At this point, we are looking at what we call the community highlights. And I believe that the first community highlight we want to look at is the concert. And this is going to be the spring concert. As you can see, it is including Toya Coleman, Penta Rose, and Manuel and Bernice Roberto. And they are all people that you've heard here. And they are doing this as an honor for us, a donation. It is free, but of course we would love any love offering. And the doors open at 10:30. I would also definitely love to mention my deep gratitude and appreciation for all of us who contribute our time and talent and ties. The things that are being accomplished here could not be done without a community that is invested and is demonstrating their love. And as Reverend Ryan calls it, this is what love looks like. So today, if you didn't notice, on our new floor, we have 3 new rugs. They just manifested because of people thinking ahead. And I just want to honor Gio for getting them, I believe, on Amazon. But they work perfectly for the entryway and our 2 back doors. And this is the kind of things that just happen as people remain in their church home and they demonstrate their love. I would also like to mention that that beauty and love that's being made manifest here inside our church, we wish to extend out into our grounds. And so just FYI, in the future you'll be getting some updates. We'll be looking at getting teams together and having maybe 2 Saturdays where we start to work to beautify our grounds and clean them up and give them a spring cleaning too. So that is to come. The quote that you will see by Maya Angelou is very simple. It is on the theme of creativity, and she simply says, and she makes it simple, but it's a very complex idea. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. And I chose the quote today because I'm in a creative space with my life at this moment, with the known roles that I've played dropping away. And so it simply reminds me that indeed the truth of my being is that I am a creative being, and reminds me of what is possible. Because creativity cannot be used up, because it's not about me. Behind us, God is. I am. The two core principles. So when I have a new idea, I'm simply tapping into the activity of that divine wisdom, of that all that is. I'm an instrument through which infinity is being channeled. That one source, that one life, the invisible essence and substance of every form. Another way to put it, if you know Star Trek, is the divine mind is mind melding with me. Indeed, that is what I feel in this moment. Maya Angelou speaks simply about this idea, how divine love and divine law manifest in our lives. So this quote, you can't use up creativity, the more you use, the more you have, is a great comfort to me. And now, Ryan will do the open prayer.
Can we stand? We're going to take a cleansing breath. That breath is our superpower. That breath is what we always have access to. No matter what we are encountering, we know that we are more than our experience. And that breath is a reminder of who we truly are. So if you're joining us for the first time, this is a reminder that unity is not a religion. Our religion, if we can call it that, is love. And so what we do in this space is but an acknowledgement of who you are on top of whatever practice you have. And so in this moment, in what we call our opening prayer, we're going to do it unity style, which is affirmative prayer. So what we're going to do is we're going to affirm the truth of who we are, which is whole, which is happy, which is abundant, which is prosperous. And so we're going to open our hands like this. And just know that's the universal symbol of acceptance. And what I would love for you to do is I want you to find a smile somewhere in your heart, something to smile about. And maybe it's just the air. Maybe it's the sun that's peeking through. But there's a reason why this smile just gently finds its way to your face. And we're going to send that smile all the way down into our heart, into our belly. We're going to breathe all the way down into our bellies. And that smile is going to find its way all the way down to our kneecaps. Oh, there they are. It's going to find its way down to our toes. This smile. And in this divine moment, we affirm that there is only divinity. And we are the activity of that divinity. And in this sacred moment, we affirm all those who are in need of this love. May they feel it now. May they know it to be so, that they are whole, that whatever they're moving through is passing through their body, that wherever they are on their sacred walk, may they be reminded that they are perfect as they are. And that whatever experience we ourselves are moving through, we affirm divine clarity, the divine truth, that it is here for us. And we breathe that truth in. And we are grateful. We are grateful. And together we say, and so it is. We say, Amen. We say, Aho. Ashe. And so it is. You may be seated.
Let's take a breath. Let's receive a breath. This beautiful song is called The Moon Song by Olivia Fern. We just want to say we love you. And you all look so beautiful from here. And my friends on Zoom and YouTube and wherever we're streaming, I just want to acknowledge you all as well. Thank you. I went for a walk under the moon, and I asked her for a song to guide me on through the darkness, through the darkness. The darkness of my fears when all else disappears. The darkness of self-doubt will burn out all your lightness, all your lightness. So let go of the shadow, the shame and blame, praise and gain. You are more. Just be who you are. And she sang, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflect in your light. She sang, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflect in the light. She sang, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflect in the light. She sang, child, be unafraid to shine. Be bold and bright, reflect in the light. And this is the mantra for the sacral. Vam, vam.
Thank you so much, Toya. We appreciate you. Just a quick plug, as was already announced, April 20th, we have our spring concert. So all the trappings of what looks like a Sunday service is going to be set aside, right? And so we invite all your friends, neighbors, and family to come in, and we turn it out. So we change the chairs, and we have a little party up in here. We had a beautiful Christmas concert, and so Toya is going to be represented, as well as Manuel and Bernice on the harp and flute, and then Pinta Rose on the guitar. So it's going to be incredible. So April 20th, please tell your friends and family. So y'all, last week, we started talking about the Sacral Chakra. And my goal is this talk, I don't start sweating like I was last time. That's my goal, okay? Because as we already discussed, the Sacral Chakra is dealing with what? Sensuality and sexuality, right? And so I was sweating because I was like, all right, I had to allow myself to be opened by spirit. This is what came through in terms of how we organized our year. And the Sacral Chakra is different than the root chakra. So we spent 7 weeks talking about the root chakra, which is all about security, right? Which is all about feeling safe. And that aligns itself nicely with the spiritual community, right? Our idea of safety and security, right? That's in the safe pocket. And we could talk about everything from Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So if many of us have taken Psychology 101, Maslow is that little triangle, that pyramid. And at the base of the pyramid, in order to even get to self-actualization, which is the top, which are your dreams, your primal needs, your idea of food, shelter, have to be taken care of, right? So if we're talking for 7 weeks about the root chakra, which is all about security, that's safe. But last week, we started talking about the sacral chakra, which is all about sexuality, desire, sensuality. And so the reason why there was pause is because for generations, we've been conditioned to stay silent about those things, right? There's a way and place in which we talk about it. In fact, I don't know if this is true for y'all, I remember sex ed wasn't even a thing, right? It was not a thing. It was something to like joke about. At some point, the PE teacher was gonna do a slideshow, and you were gonna see boobies, right? It was a thing. And if you were in 8th grade, you knew in 6th grade at some point the PE teacher was gonna do this PowerPoint slide. It was not PowerPoint back in the day. It was the translucent sheets, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Now we got fancy PowerPoint. And that was the limitation to your exposure around sexuality. But here's the thing, y'all. Many of us know that was not my peers' first exposure to sex. Way before that. And the thing is, because there wasn't a space for open dialogue about it, it was something that was kept silent and brushed over to the rug. And it wasn't until many of us got into adulthood when we questioned experiences we went through and said, hey, I don't know if that was right. I don't think that was right. But because we didn't have environments to talk freely about sexuality, healthy sexuality is suppressed. And so last week we talked about pornography industry being on the front lines of technological advance, right? And so a lot of the things that we privilege ourselves with being able to swipe, right, e-commerce, a lot of that is made possible by an industry that makes billions of dollars a year because people have been conditioned into silence, right? Now, that's what we talked about last week. This week, we're continuing to honor our dialogue around the sacral chakra because it's in that space that our creativity finds its form. Now, when we think about creativity, it's almost always locked into a mental enterprise. We had an idea. The idea is a aha. Just think about any cartoon with a light bulb. It appears right above your head. But that's not where ideas come from, right? The true ideas, if they're rooted in something deeper than our thinking hard and deliberating on it, the true idea actually comes from something bigger. We're being led by a force, an energy. It's driving through us. One of my favorite things is when somebody comes to me with an idea, I say, where'd the idea come from? And they take a second and they do a piecemeal in terms of how they arrived at the idea, and it hardly ever started in the mind, nor does it finish in the mind. What we tend to do is we sculpt that idea in our rational brain, but that's not the origin of that creative thought, right? And so what the sacral system is, the chakra system, is but one iteration of energy pockets in our body. And the more research I did, I actually found that it shows up in the Christian tradition. There are 7 sacraments that happens in the Christian tradition, and guess what? It's connected to biology. And then shout out to Gerardo because he was the first to introduce me to it. And then I did some deep diving. It shows up in the Kabbalah, which is the true Jewish tradition. So there are 10 pockets, but aligned in 7 different energies in the Jewish tradition. So here we have 3 distinct spiritual systems that say, hold up, our biology is connected to our biography. And that's Carolyn Mace. Our biology is connected to our biography. There was a study that was just done recently, and this is the first time in human history where scientists were able to look at the genetic material in a person and see the impact of trauma. And so there were children of war from Hamas. The grandchildren, you're able to see in their genetic code the impact of that trauma. This is new research. And y'all, many of us know this has been a thing. It didn't take a researcher to say, oh yeah, trauma shows up in your family. But this is the first time in human history where we can look at the genetic marker and see how trauma shows up on the body. But we've known for generations that we actually carry the pain of our ancestors. We carry it. And there was a quote I heard recently, which is, each generation will experience the pain until somebody's ready to feel it. Each generation will experience the pain, and not until there's one of us that's ready to feel it will it pass. And so when we talk about that creative core, our sacral chakra, and last week we talked about how that energy system is all, we can't lop off our legs and lop off our arms and lop off our elbow and say, these are different energy pockets. It's all energy, it's all the body. And what the sacral chakra tells us is sexual energy is energy. It's one and the same. Right? We can't differentiate this is this type of energy and this is the other type of energy. Last week we talked, that is actually how Western systems have been designed, where we can delineate different parts of who we are in these clean boxes. That's actually not how we exist as people. We've known that for generations. But what the chakra system tells us is this energy pocket, the root of who we are, this is our creativity, right? I think that's significant because earlier today I mentioned one of my favorite writers, Deepak Chopra. And Deepak Chopra calls a coincidence a spontaneous fulfillment of desire. The sacral chakra is actually our desire, right? And what we found is if we don't honor our desire, it actually shows up in different ways. One of them is our eagerness to please, our inability to say no, our inability to hold boundaries, our desire to appease the people around us. That is imbalance in our sacral chakra. Who would have known that our ability to have a healthy no, a no thank you, who would have known that that ability to say no is connected to our love for ourselves, the fulfillment of our true desire? Who would have known that? And the reality is, I'm not preaching or saying anything that we don't already know. And what Carolyn Mace talks about in the book is, in her book, The Anatomy of Spirit, she writes that we know how energy works without this fancy language. We know it already. It's true to who we are. We go into a space and say, I feel drained. That person drains me. Or, yeah, I don't know, I need a breather after that, right? We know intuitively how energy works. We know it without fancy language. And what Carolyn Mace writes is whether we can use language called chakras or whether we could say, I feel spent. There is a biography in our biology, and maybe we've been taught to not have healthy boundaries. Maybe we've been taught that. Maybe we've been taught not to say no. Maybe we've been taught to stay quiet and get along. Maybe we've been taught that. And how that shows up in our life is it compounds. And then next thing you know, what Carolyn Mace writes is, it shows up in the body. Because her whole book is about anatomy. And what she writes is, sickness is the final stage of manifestation. Y'all take that in for me. Now, she's not, and Michael Beckwith talks about this as well, it's not blaming the victim, right? So if somebody in our circle is sick, it's not blaming them, because that used to be a Unity thing, right? Back in the day, in Unity's early days, if somebody was sick, the next question was, what did you do? Right? What did you do wrong? What are you believing in to get that sickness in your body? Right? And so thankfully we've shifted, but the truth of that power is we are active participants in how our body moves through illness. And so what Carolyn May says, if sickness is the final stage of manifestation, that means that imbalance was showing up in our bodies long before that moment. We felt a tightness in our heart. We felt like, I don't feel like doing this, but I'll do it anyway. We had those markers along the way. We had the migraine. We had the ulcer. We had the you name it. And then it combusts because we refuse to listen to what our true, honored, sacred body was telling us to do. Now, the gift is we don't have to shrug our shoulders and say, oh, there it is. We can actually look at it in two ways. One is the cure, right? That's when we put all of our faith in what the doctors tell us. You're going to do this, follow this prescription, then you're going to do this, follow this, and you'll be okay. That's the cure. What Carolyn Mace talks about is the healing. And that's where we all are active participants so that illness doesn't come back. I'll give you an example. The other day, I saw a really good documentary around Luther Vandross. Do y'all know Luther Vandross? Luther Vandross. Thank you, Star. She said, of course. Yes. If y'all don't know who Luther Vandross is, a lot of the songs like Mariah Carey, Aretha Franklin, Dionne Champion, like on and Dionne Warwick, excuse me. There a lot of the heavy hitters in the disco, they had the support of Luther Vandross as either a composer, a background vocalist, or an arranger, right? A lot of the tracks that we jam to this day, he was a part of. And eventually he broke out and became the singer that I know of, because my mom played Luther all the time, right? This incredible documentary came out recently about Luther Vandross's journey. And if you know anybody who knows Luther Vandross, you know his body of work is about love. It's about love, baby. That's right, Sacral Chakra all day, all right? People will go up to him and say, I'm here because of your music, right? He was known as the love doctor, and later on at the end of his career, he said, listen, I want people to enjoy my music, but not to call me the love doctor, all right? And so he had an interview with Oprah, and he talks about his music. And somebody asked, what's your favorite track? And his favorite track is the one he says is the only song that's autobiographical. Guess what that song is about, y'all? His father, that was one of the songs. What was the second song? Guess what that song is about? His desire for love. His desire for love. Here's a person who had decades of music, Grammys. He had 9 nominations before he got his first Grammy, and many more to come. His body of work is around love. And one of 2 songs that's autobiographical is his desire for not love, but for any love. The lyrics is, I want any love. Any love. And what's powerful is the people in this circle, they talked about how many lives he's changed and how incredible he was as an artist, but how that was something that he just longed for. And guess how he passed, y'all? His heart. His heart. He had hypertension and he had a stroke. He died of a broken heart. Now, Carolyn Mace, when she writes The Anatomy of Spirit, what she's demonstrating for us is our bodies, our biology is perpetually telling us how we feel. Even if in our mind we say, I'm okay, I'll be all right. Our body, if we need rest, our body will sleep through that alarm. And then what do? We wake up and we start getting, I slept through the alarm. Our body needed that rest. Yes, you can be late. What is our body calling for us? Rest. And so here we have this incredible singer who died of a broken heart. The other message in his journey is that when he talked about his sexuality, he refused to answer any questions. Those in his inner circle, they were unable to tell his truth because he never came out with it. But his inability to feel acceptance enabled him to choose silence. The point in that is all of us are active participants in this sacred walk. So if one of us has a desire to jump in a car and do a road trip, how we respond to that is critical. Are we going to be a naysayer and say, is that the best idea right now? It's snowing in the other parts of the world, you know. I don't know. You just said last week your money wasn't looking right. Maybe you should wait. How we respond to that spontaneous fulfillment of desire, that's our job. Am I making sense, y'all? How we support each other when that spontaneous idea comes up, that's our work as a sacred community. And y'all, there were so many ideas that came with this brand new carpet. If you're here joining us for the first time, this is a brand new carpet. This is our 3rd week. The flooring out here is 2 weeks. The beams have been painted freshly for 2 weeks. That's just like the physical stuff. This is a creative idea. There were points in time when this didn't seem reasonable, possible, necessary. But there was a groundswell that said, no, now is the time. Imagine if, as a unit, as a body of people, when we feel compelled by a spontaneous idea, however it shows up, what if we supported each other? I'm going to call Mary out real quick. So Mary is going to Alaska. Yes. Mary is going to Alaska. A naysayer up in here could be like, Mary, what you doing? Florida's the best spot for winter. You about to go into the storm? Now, what love looks like is like, Mary, I can only imagine how beautiful your experience is going to be. Mary's going to be there for 6 months in Alaska. How we show up for each other is saying just what we just did. We said, wow. And we love on each other when those ideas come, because those ideas are simply sparks of divinity and us having the courage to move forward. And us together as a community supporting those ideas. That's our work. So if last week we learned that there is no difference between sexual energy and energy, this week we're learning that that creative core, that oven, if you will, that generating body of creativity, it actually expresses itself in our bodies, in our physical bodies. And so today's lesson has 2 parts. 1, listen to your physical body. Can we do that? Can we say listen? We gotta listen. We gotta listen. Okay? If we have a cold that's been lingering for 10 days, 9 times out of 10, we're not giving ourselves enough rest. Am I making sense, y'all? So the first part of this is, let's listen. And the second part of it is, when a spontaneous desire pops up among us, in our circle and outside of our circle, let's choose love. Let's choose acceptance. Let's choose, wow. Wow. We're going to take that into meditation. We're going to take a cleansing breath. And as we sit, we are simply reminded of the truth of who we are. We're reminded that we are not our experience. We're not the heartbreak. We're not the setback. We're not the bad knees. We're not all the things that our experience has manifested. We are greater. We take that clarity into our stillness. We affirm that our true nature is love. And that love is yearning to express itself. going to allow the music to wash over us, and we'll be here for a few moments. As we breathe, we're going to soften our entire instrument. We're going to soften our jaw. We're going to soften our belly. And all the thoughts we're going to see float like a cloud. We see it, we observe it. This place, this knowing, this truth, this stillness, we have access to always. 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 Whenever you're ready, I want you to open your eyes and bring yourself fully into the space with a cleansing breath. I want to invite you all to our morning meditations. We have an hour-long meditation from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And so I understand that this is barely a glimpse. So we call it mini meditation. Mini. But I invite you, if you're able, to our 9 a.m. We can really go deep. Two things I want to bring forward. One is this. We are always connected. So when you hear always, you think always happening. ALWAYS, always. I want you to think about it like this. All, A-L-L, all ways. In all ways, we are connected. Whether it's smelling the azaleas outside, or with our horses, or with our cats, or with a glass of wine, watching the sunset in meditation. However that creativity shows up, we are all ways, in all ways, connected. There is no shut-off valve. There is no light switch. There is no, I need to get connected. There is no, I just feel down in the dumps. God, come on in. There is no valve. There's no turn-up valve. The sense of separation we feel is a creative act we've done. So we can choose to be fully immersed in that truth of who we are. We can choose it. That is a creative act. So in all ways, we are connected. In all ways. And the final thing is this. We say welcome all the time here, right? Say, welcome to Unity. Welcome, welcome. When you came in the door, 10 times out of 10, somebody welcomed you. When you hear welcome, you think WELCOME. Welcome, come on in. I want y'all to hear WELL. Come. Welcome. Welcome. Well, come. This is yours. We create this space, this special energy, this love, this community, this feeling of acceptance, this feeling of this is our spiritual community. We create this. We determine its outcome. All of the effort and energy it took us to be here this morning, we create this. So if you're feeling love, you created it. If you feel home, you created it. If you feel like you with your buddies, you created it. This is ours. Welcome. Well, come on in.
Thank you. This is a well-known chant. Feel free to chant along if you know this one. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. Satnam. Satnam. Thank you.
Thank you, Toya. We're going to take that energy into our giving. As you prepare your offering, whatever it is, I want you to take that clarity, that hope, that openness as you prepare your check, whatever it is, because we are preparing a seed to be placed in fertile soil. However we prepare that seed is going to dictate how it blossoms. And so we affirm that whatever you have to give, expect its full return. Expect it. So if we place that seed with a little more love, with a little more grace, with a little more release, that's how it comes. With a little more grace, with a little more love, a little more release, it's unexpected return. And so I want you to take whatever it is you have to give, your time offering, whatever it is, and I want you to place it over your heart. In a few weeks, we're going to talk about what this heart chakra is and how important what we're doing actually is. And so together, I want you to repeat after me. May this seed flourish in the fertile soil that is Unity of Gainesville. We expect in grace and perfect ways its full return. And so it is.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. May the long time sun shine upon you. Oh, love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your
Thank you, Toya. As the kiddos come in, I cannot help but acknowledge and Forever Young. Can you stand up real quick? And welcome back. What's up? And we love you. We miss you. Welcome back. Okay, so if y'all don't know, Ann was moving through a healing journey. You got a knee done, right? The hips. Thank you so much. A hip, and you are moving good. Welcome, welcome. We love you so much. All right, we love you. Let me see. We got the kiddos coming on in. All right, Miss Gwen.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I've got to show them that Allie and Blake are back with us from Brownsville, Texas. And they have gone outside and showed us how it looks in Brownsville, Texas. It is sunny and bright, but thank goodness we're getting some rain. And today we continued talking about strength, and we did some more with the story of David and Goliath, and we made a Goliath, and we took marshmallows as our stones, and we threw them, and did I throw it? Knock Goliath down. So we talked about whenever you have Goliath problems come up in your life, God can give you the strength and marshmallows.
Mom. Thank you, Miss Gwen. Okay, y'all, so we love to bless our children here. What we're going to do is we're going to bless ourselves as well. Can we do that? So we're going to have one hand extended to the children and the other hand on ourselves. Just get some of this juice, okay? Yes, I love it, Reverend Marcy. So maybe it's a hand on your heart and one to the kids, whatever it looks like. We're going to bless all of ourselves, okay? We're going to say, children, ourselves, we are perfect just the way we are. The divine, magnificent, outpicturing of source. Everything we desire is ours because we and God are one. All right, y'all, we feel that blessing. We love you. All right, let's circle up.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there surrounds us. We are light. The love of God enfolds us. We are love. The power of God protects us. We are power. And the presence of God watches over us. We are presence. Wherever we are, God is. And we are divine. And all is well.
All right, everybody, one last thing. If we could look at the camera at the back of the room and just wave at our loved ones who are on Zoom and YouTube. We love you. We cannot wait to wrap our arms around you as you move through your journey. All right, y'all, peace out. Have a good week.